The first of the fruits of the 7 species is not such a pleasurable fruit, by the way. It's the olives. If you go by the hierarchy of the actual fruits, the first one is an olive. So what is that? I don't find so much pleasure in the bitterness of the olive. Now when you eat it, when you buy it from the supermarket, after it was fermented, after it was crushed, after it was soaked in oil, it's good. Go outside, I have an olive tree, pick one out of the tree and we'll see how much you're going to like it. It's not. It's hard, it's going to break your teeth, and it's extremely bitter. The ones that we eat in the supermarket, that's a processed olive. This is not the actual original one. But the original one is hard, and mainly it's bitter. Where do we find the first time the mentioning of olives in the Torah? After the flood, a whole year the world was upside down, and then the flood ends, and then the ark lies down, and then Noah opens the ark. The first animal he sends out is a crow, a rev. The next one he sends is a pigeon, a dove. And the dove comes back in the first round empty-handed. The next time she comes back, it says that she had ale zait teref be'ada. She comes back with a leaf of olive. Why dafka olive? Why she couldn't find something else? Why the olive? The Midrash explains that the angels asked the dove, why did you bring an olive? From all the trees that were out there, you chose the olive? So the dove answered the Kadosh Baruch Hu, excuse me. The dove answers the Kadosh Baruch Hu, I rather have bitter food from the hands of the Kadosh Baruch Hu than something sweet from the hands of a human being. To teach us that we have a lot of things that are bitter in our life. That's a normal thing. I mean, I'm not saying it's a good thing, I'm just saying it's a pretty common thing. That we have a lot of bitter things in my life. The dove comes and tells me, the Yonah represents Knesset Israel, the Jews. If you have the custom of reading Shir HaShirim, you see that it's constantly talking about Yonati, my pigeon, my dove. This is talking about the Jews. Of course, it's the Jews that answer the Kadosh Baruch Hu. That says that I rather have my mezonot, my food, bitter, but know that it comes from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Rather to have something sweet from another human being that might seem good, but it comes with the fakeness that comes from a human being. I rather suffer, so to say, and some things in my life should be bitter, but I know it's coming directly from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Meaning to say, in other words, that in my avodat HaShem, in my growth, has to be bitterness. Has to be things that will be bitter. But I need to understand that it comes from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. And if it comes from the Kadosh Baruch Hu, I rather have that than having my entire life sweet, but coming from fake human beings and from fake people. And that everything is fake and everything is not real. And more than that, we know that what does the olive produces? It produces olive oil. And we used to light the menorah with it. The Torah says, "Vayikhu li shemen zayit zach katit la'ma'or," that you have to take from me pure olive oil that is coming from the olive. How do you do it? Katit, you have to crush it. Which means that the best comes out of me when I'm crushed. So when my life is bitter and something is tasting not so good, this is the way that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is crushing me. Why? To take the best out of me. So the next time that I'm dealing with something that is hard or something that is bitter in my mouth, I just have to understand it's only coming from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. It's only coming to bring the best out of me. And better to do it by myself. The teachings of Hasidut says, listen, we all have to go through some type of suffering. That's the reality. We came here to suffer. I know it doesn't sound now so nice. I know people don't want to hear it. I know people say, no, HaShem doesn't want us to suffer. The reality is that we come down to this world and we have to work hard. And we have to go through some type of suffering. But I can choose the type of suffering. I can now put myself now in a yeshiva and learn 3 hours a day, and that will be my suffering. I can take on myself suffering, so to say. You want to comment on that? You're right. It's not suffering. But when learning Torah, how is it called? Lekabel ol Torah. Amal. It's hard. So if I take on myself now, most people, they do an action that is called lifrok ol Torah, is to get off me the so to say, the yoke of the Torah. If I accept on myself the yoke of the Torah, the Mishnah says, Kol haporek me'atzmo ol Torah, יקבל עליו עול דרך ארץ. If I throw off myself the yoke of the Torah, I'm going to be burdened with the yoke of the world. But כל המקבל על עצמו עול Torah, any person that takes on himself the yoke of the Torah, פורק מעצמו עול דרך ארץ. He's not going to have problems with דרך ארץ, with the problems of the world. So of course learning Torah is not suffering. But if you do it the right way, it's hard work. It's to learn the sugiyah, what does it mean there, or to memorize it. Same thing with the mitzvah. Mitzvot, they don't come so easy. If you're busy accepting the yoke of the Torah, which is not so easy, let's face it, then you're pushing away all the other problems that you will have to deal with. Or, to say it in another way, if you deal with other people's problems, then the Kadosh Baruch Hu is going to make sure that you don't have to deal with your own problems. That's why Kadosh Baruch Hu puts in front of you so many different situations. You know, there's a famous story about Yosef HaTzadik. And Yosef HaTzadik was in jail. And later on, of course, there was the Hollywood story and a beautiful ending, and he became a king, and sof tov, akol tov. But the reality was that he was in jail for 12 years. Now, what was really the little action that got him out of jail? The action that got him out of jail was the fact that 2 years before he got out of jail, two individuals were thrown into jail. Sarah Mashkim and Sarah Ofim, the minister of the bakery and the minister of beverages, and he solved their dreams. And 2 years later, when Paro had a dream, then they said, oh, there's this little boy in the jail, he solves dreams. So technically one might say that what caused his release is the fact that these two individuals remembered him. But how did he even assist them? The Torah says that when they woke up in the morning, they woke up in the morning with a frowning face. He took out of his time to ask them, what's wrong? Is everything okay? Can I help you? And just the fact that he approached them, they said, yes, we had a dream, and one thing led to another. Which comes to teach us something so simple, that if he would not bother with their problem, they would not know that he solves dreams. This was of course everything comes from HaShem. HaShem got him out of jail. But it had to get dressed in nature. This is called B'derech HaTeva. It had to get dressed in nature. And it got dressed in nature by the fact that he turned to them and asked them, are you okay? Can I help you? And he helped them. He didn't have to help them. In jail, he was the ruler. He was the in charge of the jail. He could have just said, what do I need to learn from that? That when I turn to another person to offer my help, that might be my salvation. And every day the Kadosh Baruch Hu puts in front of me, so to say, a burden of somebody else's problem. Almost any day somebody will turn to me and tell me I need help. I need money, I need advice, I need you to babysit my kid, I need you to help me here. Every day somebody will turn to you. You have the opportunity of saying, I'm so sorry, I'm so busy. You can't even imagine how busy I am. But just because you don't want to do it. And then what happens is you are left to deal with your own problem. And usually it will come when you have to deal with your problem. And if you put your problem aside and you deal with somebody else's problem, that probably will be the salvation to your problem. So Kadosh Baruch Hu constantly puts situations in front of you that you're not comfortable. They're not convenient for me now to come and deal with your problem. I have my own problems. But when I take my time and I say, okay, let me put my problems aside, let me deal with your problem, in most cases the Kadosh Baruch Hu will make my problem just dissolve. So that's why the dove says, I rather my problems be bitter by the Kadosh Baruch Hu, not for other people. And I want to take from the fruits of the zait, of the olive, is that there has to be sometimes something bitter. Better to take the bitter on myself. Better me going out and saying, how can I help you? Do you need help? Let me help you. I'm busy now helping with you, with your problem. My problem will be solved by default. I'm busy taking on myself the yoke of the Torah. then some might say it's suffering. No, it's not suffering. Better that coming from the Kadosh Baruch Hu. So just by that, that's already a motion to know that I should initiate solutions to other problems than waiting for the problem to come and finding the solution to it. So that I can take from the olive.